Today, we're diving into the life of a true icon, a man who defined an era of entertainment, wrestling, and larger-than-life charisma, Hulk Hogan. But before we celebrate his incredible journey, I have to address the heartbreaking news that's shaken fans around the world. On July 24, 2025, the legendary Hulk Hogan passed away at the age of 71, leaving behind a legacy that will echo through generations. Reports indicate he suffered a cardiac arrest at his home in Clearwater, Florida, with emergency responders rushing to the scene in the early morning hours. It's a loss that hits hard, doesn't it? For so many of us who grew up watching him body slam opponents and rally crowds with his unbreakable spirit, this feels like the end of an era. In this video, we'll explore not just the cause of his death, but his age at the time, his family, his net worth, his lifestyle, and the full biography of the man behind the bandana. Stick with me as we remember the Hulkster in all his glory. It's going to be emotional, inspiring, and full of those unforgettable moments that made him a household name. Let's start at the beginning, because to truly appreciate Hulk Hogan's impact, we need to understand where he came from. Born Terry Jean Bollea on August 11, 1953, in Augusta, Georgia, Hogan was the youngest son of Pietro Bollea, a construction foreman, and Ruth Bollea, a homemaker and dance instructor. His family had a mix of Italian, Panamanian, Scottish, and French roots, and they moved to Port Tampa, Florida, when he was just a toddler. Growing up, young Terry wasn't always the confident giant we knew him as. He struggled with body image issues, getting bullied for his large head and being overweight to the point where he'd avoid taking off his shirt at the beach. Can you imagine? The man who would one day flex for millions was once a kid hiding his insecurities. But wrestling called to him early on. As a teen at Robinson High School in Tampa, he and his friends would sneak into shop class to imitate stars like Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch. He played baseball too, even catching the eye of MLB scouts, but an arm injury dashed those dreams. Instead, he pursued music, forming a rock band called Ruckus while attending Hillsborough Community College and the University of South Florida, though he never graduated, choosing the gym and the stage over textbooks. It was in those Florida gyms where fate intervened. Wrestlers Jack and Jerry Briscoe spotted his massive physique, standing at 6 feet 7 inches and over 300 pounds, and encouraged him to train. Hogan's first trainer, Hiro Matsuda, broke his leg on day one as a test of grit, but Terry came back stronger, earning respect and diving headfirst into the ring. By 1977, he was wrestling in small circuits, adopting names like Super Destroyer and Terry Boulder. His big break came in 1979 when he debuted on TV in Memphis Wrestling, where he got nicknamed the Hulk after outshining Lou Ferrigno, the actor who played the Incredible Hulk. That same year, Vince McMahon Sr. brought him to the WWF, now WWE, suggesting he dye his hair red for an Irish gimmick. Hogan refused, keeping his blonde locks, and thank goodness he did. McMahon paired his comic book-like build with the name Hulk Hogan, and the rest is history. Oh, what a rise it was! Hogan's early WWF run included rivalries with giants like Andre the Giant, facing him 16 times in 1980 alone. But it was in 1984, after a stint in Japan and a role in Rocky III alongside Sylvester Stallone, that Hulkamania truly exploded. He defeated the Iron Sheik for the WWF Championship, kicking off a 1,474-day reign, the longest in the WrestleMania era. Picture this, arenas packed with fans chanting his name, kids everywhere ripping their shirts and following his commandments, training, saying prayers, eating vitamins, and believing in yourself. He headlined 8 of the first 9 WrestleManias, slamming Andre the Giant in 1987 in what became known as the Slam heard round the world. Hogan won the WWF title 5 times, then jumped to WCW in 1994, rebranding as Hollywood Hogan and capturing 6 more world championships, making him a 12-time champ overall. But the 1990s brought turbulence too, a steroid scandal where he testified against Vince McMahon, forcing a brief hiatus. He bounced back, of course, because that's what the Hulkster did. His feuds with Earthquake, Ric Flair, and The Undertaker kept us on the edge of our seats, and wins like back-to-back Royal Rumbles in 1990 and 1991 cemented his immortality. Beyond the ring, Hogan's life was a whirlwind of fame and family. He married Linda Claridge in 1983, right as his career skyrocketed, and they had 2 children, daughter Brooke, born in 1988, and son Nick, born in 1990. For years, they seemed like the perfect all-American family, even starring in the VH1 reality show Hogan Knows Best from 2005 to 2007, which gave us glimpses into their daily lives, Hogan as the protective dad, Linda as the supportive mom, and the kids chasing dreams. Brooke pursued music, releasing singles and touring with acts like Hilary Duff, while Nick dabbled in racing and acting. But cracks appeared. The marriage ended in divorce in 2009 after 24 years, amid rumors and turmoil. Hogan later married makeup artist Jennifer McDaniel in 2010, but that too ended in divorce in 2021. In a brighter turn, he found love again with yoga instructor Sky Daly, proposing to her in July 2023 and marrying in September that year in an intimate Clearwater ceremony. Sky brought her own 3 children into the fold, and Hogan spoke warmly about bonding with them, saying he instantly fell in love. Family wasn't always easy. Recent years saw strains, like Linda's public claims of estrangement from Brooke and her grandkids amid family drama. Yet through it all, Hogan cherished his role as a father, often sharing how his kids grounded him amid the chaos of stardom. Speaking of stardom, let's talk about the empire he built. Hulk Hogan's net worth at the time of his passing was estimated at around $25 million, a fortune amassed from wrestling salaries, savvy business moves, and Hollywood ventures. In his prime, he claimed to earn $10 million a year from WWE, plus $13.17 million between 1996 and 2000, and even post-retirement, Legends contracts brought in about $2.5 million annually through royalties and merch. But Hogan was no one-trick pony. He dabbled in acting, earning $15,000 for his role as Thunder Lips in Rocky III, and appearing in films like Mr. Nanny, Suburban Commando, and even voicing a character in Romeo and Juliet. Merchandising was huge too. 171 action figures in his likeness, his own energy drink Hogan Energy, Hulkster burgers, and a line of frozen cheeseburgers. Restaurants were another hustle, Pastamania in 1995, Hogan's Beach in 2012, and later Hogan's Hangout near Clearwater Beach, all boosting his income. And who could forget his bars and public appearances? Fees for conventions and endorsements kept the cash flowing, even as he endorsed products like his Real American Beer in 2024. It wasn't all smooth. Legal battles, like the 2016 Gawker lawsuit, impacted his finances, but Hogan's resilience turned setbacks into comebacks. His lifestyle reflected that mix of extravagance and evolution. In his heyday, Hogan lived large, think private jets, massive homes, and a diet that included 12 fried eggs, 2 hamburger patties, oatmeal, and heaps of butter for breakfast alone. Weighing over 300 pounds, he was the epitome of power, but years of body slams took a toll. Bent tailbone, numb legs, arthritis, scoliosis, and constant pain. By 69, he transformed, dropping 40 pounds to 269, his high school weight, by ditching beer, switching to organic foods, water, yogurt, bananas, and lean proteins like chicken, steak, or sashimi. From his Clearwater mansion, surrounded by luxury cars and his beloved chihuahuas, he embraced a healthier routine with workouts and beach vibes, strumming his bass guitar in retirement. In 2023, at 69, he told Men's Health he felt stronger than ever, alive with a bit of pain reminding him he was still kicking. But health scares loomed. Recent years brought rumors of decline, complications from a May 2025 neck procedure, a 4-level anterior cervical discectomy infusion that affected his spine, vocal cords, and more. His wife Sky denied coma rumors, insisting his heart was strong and he was recovering. Tragically, those efforts weren't enough. Which brings us to the somber details of his passing. At 71, Hulk Hogan died from cardiac arrest on July 24, 2025, at his Clearwater home. Emergency crews arrived early that morning after a 911 call, with police and paramedics swarming the scene. He was carried out on a stretcher and rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. This came just weeks after Sky publicly shut down deathbed rumors, attributing issues to post-surgery complications. Fans were already worried. Radio host Bubba the Love Sponge had claimed his health was fading, and earlier reports mentioned a coma, which Sky called false. It's heartbreaking to think of the Hulkster, who hulkied up against every giant in the ring, succumbing to something as sudden as cardiac arrest. He was recovering from intense surgery, dealing with tubes for eating and breathing, and pushing through a long healing process. At 71, born in 1953, he leaves us reflecting on a life lived at full throttle. From a bullied kid in Florida to a global phenomenon. As we wrap up this tribute, it's impossible not to feel the weight of his absence. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a wrestler, he was a symbol of perseverance, turning Hulkamania into a movement that inspired millions to believe in themselves. He transformed WWE into a global powerhouse, starred in reality TV, built businesses, and navigated personal storms with that signature grit. His family, Brooke, Nick, Sky, and the extended circle, now carries his memory, amid the joys and pains they shared. With a $25 million net worth and a lifestyle that evolved from excess to mindful health, he showed us it's never too late to change. But more than the titles or the fortune, it's the emotional impact he left, the cheers, the tears, the belief that anyone could overcome. Rest in peace, brother, your legacy will never fade. If this video touched you or brought back some fond memories, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the lives of legends like this. Thanks for watching, and take care.